AxFam, welcome back. We are here for the final 6 cases of JudgeSim, I Am the Law. So let's just jump into this and see what we got. Alright, this has been an interesting adventure with all these cases. Okay, I think I already know who this is. Guy that's got all these tats. Is this from like a Rockstar? Let's see. Infringement lawsuit filed against the famous game studio Rapstar Games. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Alright, we have an infringement lawsuit filed against the famous game studios Rapstar Games. Okay. So this is some kind of likeness. In the past months, the trailer of the long-awaited game, BTA 6, made by the famous game company Rapstar Games, has been released. The trailer that made a huge impact worldwide broke records. Okay. Well, we have a Bernard Holm claims that his appearance was used in the trailer without permission and without compensation. Bernard Holm demands Rapstar Games pay him $1.3. Representing Rapstar Games in this case, okay. Now, in the real world thing, I don't know. I don't know if it was actually, I mean, it's just a picture of somebody. It was out in public. Now, if they took it, okay, well, we'll see. You're all aware that I don't look like a normal person. Correct. This cannot be a simple coincidence or an ordinary mistake. They're deliberately trying to use me without paying me a single penny. The company I'm talking about is a billion-dollar company. Correct. If they had come to me and offered me, I would have gladly accepted it. They chose to exploit me instead. I've already heard that they exploit their own employees by forcing them to work overtime. It's become pompous, so I'm going to stop you. Okay. Who cares about what's going on inside the employees between the employees and the employer? Not your case. So let's get to your case. That was it? Okay. The allegations are completely unfounded. So far, we have not used any brands or names. Instead, we have chosen to adapt them. There's absolutely no violation of the law, which I know they, Rockstar, Rapstar, they have checked everything to make sure something like that doesn't happen. Sorry for the phone call. My buddy's friend was calling him. I get notifications on my phone. Voice calling him. Okay. Instead, just adapt them. Because there's tons of vehicles in the game that look like real vehicles, but they can't use the same names. Otherwise, they have to pay licensing and copyright for using the names, just like a bunch of games do. Especially the ones that you may even see on this channel in Roblox, like Octopus Games. It's clearly Squid Games, but, A 3D modeling team may have made a simple coincidence, or they may have wanted to make a subtle reference. Some game companies also make such implicit references. For example, they recently used a new Judge Simulator game, changing our name. We didn't see anything wrong with that, and yet we didn't file a lawsuit. Yet. Well, are you going to? I mean, character appearing in the trailer. Okay, yeah, and it wasn't even exactly the same. Like, if you see, I'm sure you've probably seen the GTA 6 trailer. I don't know who hasn't seen it. They look similar, but they're not even alike, And that was probably done on purpose. They didn't have any character. They may have made it look similar. Of course, there's so many people in this world, they could have just made any character, and it's going to look like somebody, But anyway... So that's it, huh? I think I already know the answer to this one. We'll keep this one short. Well, look at your photo here. I see that you have changed your hair just like the character in the game. Did you look like this to look more like the character? Your Honor, I don't need to look like the character in the game because it's obvious that they were inspired by me when making the character there. Oh, so you changed your hair to make it look more like the game? Yeah, this is Mr. Holmes said. Inspiration is not a violation of rights. No reproduction has been made and no name has been given. For this reason, it's definitely no violation of rights. And you're correct. I'm sorry, but Rapstar Games is correct. If you have a public photo out there, I mean, I guess it depends on what state you're in. But if you're in public, you can be recorded as long as it's if you're in a public space, means you have no right to privacy. It is pretty common knowledge that in a public space there is no right to privacy. Now, this is an infringement case. It definitely does look like them, but their vehicles look like real vehicles and stuff, different names and everything. Like, you can't, and they haven't been sued by car companies and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, car companies would probably like their name to be in there, but the game's so big, instead of the game paying the car companies to use their names, the car companies, I'm surprised, haven't actually paid Rapstar to put their vehicles in their games, and make them awesome. That's great marketing. I mean, you think it should be the one way, but actually, as big as the game is, it should be the other way. Anyway, objection lawsuit filed for the cancellation of space budget received from the state. Hexagon Space Agency, plaintiff, anti-space. All right, space agencies to share with the public the alien clues they found on Earth. The Hexagon Space Agency, which claims that they can prove the existence of aliens in line with their own studies and these clues, demands an appropriation of $30 million from the state. The Anti-Space Association filed a lawsuit saying that these clues and studies were fake and accused the Hexagon Space Agency of deceiving the state and people. Liam Grush will represent the Space Agency, and Robert O'Neill will represent the Space Opponents Association. Alright, in line with the work we have done using the knowledge gained by science and human beings for centuries, our company will submit all necessary documents to the court. Even one of these documents is sufficient evidence for these investigations to be carried out and the facts to come to light. A sum of $30 million is nothing for these studies, which we aim to make our beautiful country, the Banana Republic, always ahead of other countries in terms of space. The work of the Hexagon Space Agency never reflects reality. There is nothing that proves both religiously and scientifically that there is life outside our world. The only purpose of the company is to get free money from our state. The presentation of so-called alien information to the public is made purely to gain attention and popularity. That could be true, but image claimed and crop circles. Is there any digital evidence? I didn't look. Oh, sound record. Now, hold on. I don't understand here. Now, here's the issue. What are y'all suing them? What's a lawsuit for the cancellation of space budget? Yeah, the state doesn't need to be paying for this. A country, collectively, maybe, because I think it's important to use space, but they can prove the existence of aliens. Oh, we don't care about proving. I mean, we'd love to know, and we'd love to see proof. It's like all the photos are all distorted, like all these fancy cameras and stuff. You'd think something, but alright, let's move on. Moving on. It's been decided that Hexagon Space Ship received the mentioned payment. It was decided that say would not. Okay, we're not paying them $30 million. We're not paying $30 million. Yeah, alien debate continues. That's fine. We're not paying them $30 million. It's way too much money for our little banana republic. Alright, what we got here? Finkman and Walter White. Okay, this is from Breaking Bad. Alright, trafficking and production. Alright, several important laboratory equipment was stolen from Ross Angel High School. No trace was found in the camera recordings examined. The lab materials got stolen day by day. Okay. He's already been convicted of trafficking. He's got no criminal record. Okay. Walter White. Okay. Disturbed by the situation, the school administration notified the police after the number of stolen items increased significantly. As a result of investigations carried out by the police, a chemistry teacher named Walter White, who was the only person who did not have any problems with the permission to enter the laboratory, became a suspect. So he didn't have any problems with entering. After getting the permission from the prosecutor, the house of Walter White was searched. In the search conducted, it was found that materials that were not stolen from the school, but require special permits for procurement, and also are used in the production of drugs. Okay. So it was found that materials that were not stolen from the school. So they found stuff that was not stolen from the school and require special permits to get, and they were used for drugs. Jesse Thankman, a former student who was at White's home during the search, also became a suspect. Jesse's house was also searched with permission of the prosecutor's office, and some materials used to make drugs were found. Walter White and Jesse Thankman were subsequently arrested. Okay, but here's the deal. That's a secondary thing. Like, I get that you found something that were used, but before I continue reading, but your probable cause to even go was stuff was stolen. You found stuff that wasn't the stuff that was stolen. So that would be like inadmissible, I would believe. All right, what do I teach chemistry at Los Angeles High School. What do I have to do with drugs? I love my job, and I love to convey the fascinating world of chemistry to my students. Makes me very happy to entertain them while doing this. Naturally, I don't know the results of some experiments without trying them. That's why I prefer to try the experience in my own home beforehand. Some experience can get out of hand, and it can be very dangerous for my students. I'm also the one who has the most trouble with the materials stolen from the school. I want to show my students an experiment, but the materials are either moved or I can't find the materials. It's starting to get really weird. Whoever the perpetrator is, I want him to be found immediately. Sounds like he's throwing him under the bus. Okay. I had a great bond with my former chemistry teacher, Mr. White. Back in high school, we never lost touch, and even after school, we kept seeing each other. A few nights a week, we'd grab some beers and sit down and talk things over. Mr. White is a really cool guy. As for what you found at my place, they're just a reflection of habits I picked up from my time with Mr. White. I have nothing to do with drugs. Thanks to Mr. White, I developed such a love for chemistry that doing experiments at home in my free time helps me escape all the stress of life. Stress is really bad, man, and none of the materials belong to the school. They're just perks from a few chemical supply companies I got to know through Mr. White, that's all. I mean, they have a good case. I mean, substance found in the house of White. Okay. I get you found stuff. There's Thankman, baggies. The problem is, Mr. White, how did you get the sources that are found in your home, and why do you have them in your home? As you know, I'm a chemistry teacher, and I have very good relations with chemical companies that produce these materials. I asked them, and they sent it to me. I use them in experimentation. What's the reason you keep sodium metal and phenylacetone in your home, Mr. White? My students and I have enjoyable experiments with sodium metal, and these experiments should be done carefully. That's why I test these experiments on beforehand. Sodium is a dangerous metal, especially when it comes to contact with water. It explodes like a bomb with a fuse ignited. The cheapest and simplest method of preserving sodium metal is transparent bags. You are aware that the materials found in your home are used to make drugs. In particular, I'm curious for what purpose you use the substance. Where's my lawyer? Saul Goodman must be around here somewhere. Saul Goodman. In the Banana Republic, only corporations can hire lawyers if they want to, Mr. White. Unfortunately, there are not enough lawyers in our country. Let's get back to our topic. Can you explain what you use it for? I was trying to make a drug for Jesse's lung ailments. Unfortunately, there is no cure for his disease. I don't want him to die young. Is it discomfort? Don't get it. What is discomfort? I wouldn't want to say this, but Jesse, it's lung cancer. I didn't know that, Mr. White. Say my name. I didn't get it. You said my name incorrectly. Yes, Mr. White. That's right. Is there anything else you'd like to add? In such cases, she should have been here. Okay. I didn't understand what you meant. Can you repeat it? I mentioned that I was worried about Jesse. Poor boy, look at him. He can't even eat. He will die of weakness soon. I'd like to express my regret for your illness, Mr. Thinkman. Yo. Thank you, my guy. You have a criminal record of selling drugs to your schoolmates during your school days. What would you like to say about this? At that time, Mr. White did not exist. Bad times, you know. After Mr. White, I began to enjoy life. There are so many transparent bags in your house, but there's no sodium metal. How do you explain this? I just found out that I had to store my food in the freezer, and I needed these bags to put them in the freezer. And that's what the guy at the grocery store said. I didn't know either. Did you just find out like me? Here's the deal with this one. Because we know the source material, Breaking Bad, we know they're guilty. You know, doing the play on the actual thing. But we have to take it as the evidence as we have it, and none of the stolen material was at their house from the school. And anything else that they found in there, regardless of their excuse, anything else found there after basically, you know, the warrant would probably have like what we're looking for. If we find something else, we can't charge them for that something else, because that's not what the search warrant was there to do. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So we have to say they're not guilty. I mean, we're going off the evidence we have. They didn't have the stolen stuff. That's what the search warrant was for, to look for the house. All that other stuff, you know, I'm asking them questions, maybe trying to get them to perjure themselves. Not perjure themselves. Indict themselves, basically, but that's not the case. It's not what happened. I mean, they had an excuse for everything, even though we know the truth. Hannibal Lecter. Okay, Hannibal Lecter. All right, cannibalism. In the hospital named Last Hope Medical Center, there have been cases of disappearance of corpse internal organs for 2 years. The number of missing cases increased at regular intervals for corpses kept in the morgue and donated organs. Hannibal Lecter, who worked in the doctor at the hospital, was found to have human internal organs in his vehicle under unusual police control, and an investigation was launched. During the search that has been made at Dr. Lecter's house, there was internal organs such as a heart, kidney, and rumen found in the refrigerator. Okay, Dr. Lecter is known to often invite his friends in the hospital to his home and cook visceral dishes. As a witness in this case, the defendant's co-worker Clarice Starlink, who often eats at his house, is present. The person was brought to court, tied up, and masked for attempting to flee several times. Mental health negative. Yes, he would often invite us to his house to cook for us. I used to go to this invitation once a week because he used to make really delicious food. The majority of these, of course, would be meat and viscera dishes. When we asked him which animal these organs and meat belonged to, he would usually give evasive answers or say Rhinoceros. I thought he didn't want to share his recipe. We also ate brains once, and he said it was monkey's brains. But I remember it was pretty big brain for a monkey. But you still ate it anyway. There are huge slanders out. Okay, it's from huge slanders out there. I know who made these slanderous moves. Bill Graham. He was that was the FBI agent, I believe, in the movie. He was jealous of the second. No, which one? Red Dragon. He was jealous of my rapprochement with Clarice and removed the organs from the cadavers in the hospital and put them in my car. Then he reported me to police. The cops weren't doing an ordinary search. It was very clear that they had stopped for a tip-off. I love cooking viscera and trying gourmet delicacies, but they don't belong to humans. Bill also came to my house and ate my viscera meals. It was very easy for him to associate this situation with cannibalism as a result of his jealousy. I'm ashamed to say it, but I once found a human heart in a freezer container in Dr. Laster's bag. He's responsible for the organs stolen in the hospital. Moreover, he feeds them to other people. I think he fed it to me. Oh my God. Yeah, so that's the thing. It was, now this one's belonging to a lamb and cow. Okay, so one was in his car. So the story about the agent could be correct. The one in his house was lamb and cow. List of stolen. Guts, intestines, brains, heart, kidney. Yeah, it was just the camera at the front door, but it was a big truck. I heard it. All right, please. Miss Starling, can you tell us what meal you had 4 weeks ago? I can't remember, sorry. What about 3 weeks ago? I couldn't accept your invitation because I was sick that week. I think he was a little offended by that. 2 weeks ago, we ate monkey brains, which I mentioned in my testimony, so at least he told us that it was a monkey. 3 weeks ago was brain, 2 weeks ago was heart. So he would have had it at week 2. 1 week ago. He had boiled kidney in the oven. It was very spicy and smelled really yummy. So that one's correct, but the other one wasn't. The receipt of the monkey brain bought from the store 2 weeks ago. Maybe he's telling the truth. I mean, we know where it's from, so it's like he's not telling the truth. But if we're going off the evidence of JudgeSim, he bought a monkey brain 2 weeks ago, matches up, had a monkey brain 2 weeks ago. Then he had kidney. Well, bam. It just says organs, but I'm going to assume, ooh, I don't know. That one looks more like the kidney, right? Let's see what he says. Why did you try to escape, Dr. Lester? Because no one believed me. You were ruining me because of slander. Dr. Laster, Dr. Gray mentioned they found a human heart in your bag. Is that true? That's right, Your Honor. So you confessed your guilt. Did I understand? No, he's not confessing. Of course not. On rare occasions, I will occasionally receive organs from the hospital without permission. But I wasn't using them as food. I have students, medical students. We experiment with them and we teach them. It's very beneficial for them. Why do you do it without permission? I've tried to get permission before, but they don't. They said that there were not enough organ donors and they had to use organs for transplantation at the training site. What if I left them and those bodies went to the ground? That is, to the garbage. I prefer the bodies to be used for training. You can't decide. I admit that I'm at fault, so you can punish me, but no one can accuse me of cannibalism. Do you understand? Please calm down. It's a tough one. Oh, this one where I gotta do it. I don't even know what the punishment is, but he failed his test. So we'll send him to a mental institution. That made it a little easier to, decide that one. The jealousy angle he was punning could be true. He did have a receipt for the monkey brains and the other ones. So that's where they do the twist in this game, like from the actual, like what the story's from. All right. Martin Gambert. Kevin Hill. All right. Recently, the body of Abby Lev was found on the beach. The presence of a suicide note in Abby's bag beside the body, along with her recent use of medication for depression, raised the suspicion that she may have deleted herself. All right. Martin Gambert and Gavin Hill, who were recently text messages and were suspects for some of her questioning. After the examination of the autopsy of the corpse, it has been decided that the case should be opened. Kevin Hill, I admit that using Alexei to get close to Abby is despicable. Hold on, who's Alexei? Let's go back. All right, Abby Lev, and somebody else named Alexei. That's just kind of thrown in there. I admit that using Alexei to get close to Abby is despicable, but I love Abby so much that I would do anything for her. I don't know what you see in our messages, but I'm not the one who hurt her. She always ignored me, but I always cared about her. I went to her house on the night of the incident, but I couldn't find her. Just as I was about to return home, I saw her get out of a taxi. She was distraught and tearful. I went over to her and told her to get into my car. At first, she didn't want to, but I couldn't leave her there, so I insisted a bit and got her in. After that, I suggested going to the beach to get some fresh air, and she agreed. When we got to the beach, we walked and she felt better, and then I took her home. I went home and went to sleep. I'm not an addict. Abby and I have been friends since college, and we started using together during that first time, but neither of us starves for stuff in your absence. Sometimes we did it for fun. It wasn't something we hid, and we were together that night. When we were going to have dinner together, we went to a restaurant called Silent Rock and had dinner. After dinner, we drank and got up. Afterwards, we got our stuff to have some fun by the beach. I asked several times to verify that he was not taking antidepressants before taking. He swore he didn't. Is that supposed to be she? Kind of got that backwards. He's talking about Abby, right? Yeah, Abby. Okay, so I have to fix some of this stuff. Okay, we had dinner together at a restaurant called Silent Rock. After dinner, we drank and got up. Afterwards, we brought our stuff to have some fun by the beach. I asked several times to verify that she was not taking antidepressants before taking the stuff. She swore she didn't. After a while, we were chatting, laughing, and having fun in a place where there was no one on the beach. Then there was a rapprochement between us under the influence. After getting close for a while, she started yelling and hitting me when I made a move to take her a step forward. I grabbed her by the hand and pushed her away to stop her. I told her to go home and calm down, and she kept walking up to me and yelling. She then took a taxi and left. And after a while, I went home and slept. Okay, that's Alexei. I know my sister has been taking therapies and stuff lately, but she was never one to delete herself. Even when my parents passed, she didn't resent life. She never stopped caring about the art department she studied and me. She was always there for me. She also called me my dear sister in the letter she wrote, but since our mother died, she called me my beautiful daughter. She would never call me my sister or Alexei, so I don't think she wrote this letter. That's pretty good. When I saw the messages on my sister's phone, I realized how a jerk like Galvin had tricked me and used me for my sister. I knew that my sister and I were friends, and I never knew that Galvin had feelings for her. I'm so saddened by the death of my sister, and I do not have the strength to blame Galvin. Okay, so Galvin was stalking her. using her to get to her. And Martin is the one carrying drugs. Let's look at the evidence here. Alright, Abby's autopsy. It's been determined that there is more than 200. Okay. It's been determined there is. Okay. Evidence of the medication has been found in the body. It's been understood that death was caused by the cessation of body functions by entering a crisis as a result of exceeding the tox. Okay. 4 a.m. Message between Abby and Galvin. 1 day before the event. Are you determined not to want to talk? Yeah, I'm sure. The reason I dated your sister is just to be close to you. Please stop seeing me as your friend and give us a chance. I haven't done anything but love you for years. Break up with my sister and get out of our lives. Okay, day of the incident. I want to talk today. Please, let me come to you and let's talk a little. You should leave me alone today. I'm no good at all, and the last thing I want is to talk stupid things to you. What happened? Are you okay? Should I come to you? Won't you answer? Okay, I'm coming to you. Okay, this is most of the day between Abby and Martin. Hey, baby, get ready and we'll leave in an hour. Can't we postpone it? No, it won't. Besides, I said I have something new and we will try together. Okay, I'll be there in an hour. Okay. Now here's the letter that she was thought to be written. Forgive me, my loved ones. Lately I've been feeling like I'm just a living dead. It was not difficult for me to make the decision, but I know it'll be difficult for you. Remember me well. Not bad. I love you guys so much. No, but if she's only got her sister, she's not going to say you guys. Like, Alexi, I apologize to you most of all, and I'm very sorry that I will not be continue to be by your side. I love you very much, my dear sister. Now, if anyone knows her the most, it's Alexi, even with the stuff. Okay. You said when you smoke, you two got closer. Was this the first time it happened? No. Sometimes we're closer than friends, but we're so attached to our friendship that we could forget about that in the morning. On that night, I thought she would want to move on, but when she reacted, I immediately quit. Afterwards, I thought she wasn't okay, and I told her to go home. Do you think she's telling the truth? She took her medication. She'd be very lethargic and exhausted. That night was so much fun and full of joy. After she promised me that she would not take her medication, I agreed to use. Okay. Why did you offer to take her to the beach when they were near Abby's house? When I saw her, she looked very sad and crying. It made sense to go to the beach and relax a bit. I was afraid that if I left her at the house, she would do something to herself when she is alone. What did you talk about after you went to the beach? I asked why she didn't want me. Then she said she didn't want to talk about it, and it would never happen. After a short pause, she started crying. After that, I decided not to bring up the subject again. What happened next? After seeing her so exhausted and sad, I remembered the antidepressant drugs her brother had told me. I took it out of her bag and tried to give her antidepressant medication, but she didn't want to. I threw the pill into the water bottle and told her to drink some water and relax. Then she calmed down, and I took her to her house around 4 a.m. Then I went to my own house and slept. Okay, so you put the pill in the water, so that means you were with her last. Because she had it in her system. We already know. She had it in her system. Okay, so this is obvious. She had it in her system. And you were with her at 4 a.m. I took her home. Yeah, so it was found in the body. 4 a.m. Time of death was approximate 4 a.m. And she had it in her system. Some more of that. She calmed down and I took her to her house around 4 a.m. Okay, so even though he's the one with the record, I'm pretty sure he's the one. Hey, he's innocent. They were just partying it up. Yeah. Okay. All right, Martin. You're not guilty. But you, Mr. Hill, you basically drugged her. Whether that killed her or not, actually, hold on. Let's back up here. What were the charges? No, see, he gave it to her, so she didn't take it herself. There's no way she was writing that letter while she's on the beach. He took her home. He said, go home. He showed up, took her back to the beach, gave her the thing. She had no time to write this letter. So, Mr. Hill, now, see, it wasn't voluntary. He wanted her to calm down, so he accidentally did it. So we give him life. I was going to execute him, but we'll just give him life. We'll just give him life. All right, what we got here? We're coming up towards the end. Oh, this is the last one. What do we have? Let's see if we can Kendall Kelly, David Lewis. All right. Violation of privacy arising from unauthorized photography and sharing in the gym. Okay. Gym is a private business, but it's a public space where people go. I mean, it's privately owned, but there's other. Okay. Let's see what this is. Is this one of those where these ladies are taking like TikToks and stuff and then working out and they just blame people for being creepers? I mean, it's a gym. It's just, they just make this stuff up. All right. Working out at Ham's gym, where he frequently goes, David Lewis noticed a woman filming and saw that he appeared in the video and warned her about it. Well, he kind of being in a public space, unless Jim has rules against it, which they probably do now, he's going to be on the video. But if a person, male or female, then was like, oh, look at this guy creeping on me because he looked at me, making stuff up like you've seen in those TikToks back in the day. They basically like ruined it for people who actually do gym content. Like you can't now because of all the people who lied about that stuff. All right, Kendall Kelly, who said according to gym related, no predation and taking photos and videos in the gym. Okay. In the following days, upon repetition of this incident, David Lewis, who wanted to seek his rights through legal means, filed a lawsuit. Well, you can't just, it's got to go through, it depends on what you said. Okay. My purpose, motivation in doing sports is to feel good and have a healthy aesthetic body. I've been coming to this gym for years, and before, events like this wouldn't have happened. Recently, it annoys me a lot that women don't care about us appearing in the frame where they're constantly taking videos and photos. I don't care if they're here for sports or they take nice pictures for themselves. They just need to make sure I'm not in the frame or come ask permission. Well, it kind of depends on the business. Again, when such an incident happened, I went and warned her nicely, but she insulted me. When it happened again, the next day, I complained to the gym management. There you go. I wrote an email. As a result, I decided to file a lawsuit. No, you let the gym handle it. Business. All right. I have a right to take pictures of myself in the gym as I want. I don't take photos or videos where he is in the foreground. He came to me and told me that I should delete them because he was visible in the background. Helena. I told him that none of my followers would look at his ugly face when I had beautiful buttocks and physique. A few days later, when this incident was repeated, we had an argument and he said he would report me. I didn't think it was serious, but I'm not afraid of being sued. I didn't do anything wrong. And she didn't. I would really like the company's stance. That's what's really important. What is the company's rules being a private business? Okay, photos taken in the gym. He's working out. He's checking her out. You can see his eyes. But here's the thing. When something like that happens, somebody's working out and they just glance over. There was a lot of those videos back in the day that was like, oh, look at this creeper, checking me out, And these girls are wearing these skin tight. I mean, it's athletic gear, so of course it's going to be skin tight. But guys that have skin tight shirts and stuff, when they're working out. So just that's no problem. But let's see what the gym has to say. Okay. We pay a lot of money to come to this gym and work out, but clearly some people's purpose is to exercise. They use the gym like a catwalk or showcase themselves on camera. This isn't an issue for me, but when they invade my space and record my face, I feel a need to assert my rights. Therefore, I kindly ask the gym management to find a solution. Okay, so what's the gym say? Mr. David, we are deeply sorry for your situation, but there is no article signed by all the members about this situation and gym regulations. Please try to solve this problem by contacting the person in question bilaterally. We wish you a healthy day. Okay, so the gym does not have rules on this. So, it's not what we can do. All right, let's go ahead and read. Mr. Lewis, what would you like to say? Yeah, almost all women who come to the gym, Kendall, a social media celebrity. When she posts photos and videos of herself at the gym, millions of people can see me without my permission. It is an issue, but of course her goal is not to shoot me directly, but she doesn't do it in quieter sections or locker areas where there are no people like me behind her. True. I mean, he's got a point, but so does she. Miss Kelly, how are you going to defend yourself? What I do is show my own fitness to my followers often. I have a lot of followers who started working out with me and are determined with me. I share photos and videos from the gym with them every day and keep them consistent. No one cares about his face except the person who sued me. What they're following is me and my great physique. Therefore, I do not think I violate any of his rights. Is it true that you insulted him? It wasn't an insult. I just said what I saw. He thinks his face is better than my great physique. It's so lame that he thinks my followers will look on his face when I have a butt. Okay. I hope you understand his mistake and you find me in the right. If you wish, I can share photos with you after the lawsuit. My followers be curious. Okay. So here's the issue. She feels like she's entitled because she has followers. They follow her physique. They don't care about his face because they're busy looking at her butt. But it doesn't change the fact that his face is in the background. The issue here, I get their issue, his issue with her entitled. You want to punish her because of her entitlement, and I really do. And because this is called "I Am the Law," I could execute her for it. It don't, but we have to go by the evidence that we have presented, and it is clear that the gym does not have rules regulating photos or videos in their gym. So they said deal with it between the two of them, and so now that's why he's here. It is a gym. It's a private business, so the business owners or management, or employees can request that you don't film there. It is their right, and then if you're filming, you can no longer film because you're inside the private business. It's not outside on a public space like a sidewalk. So if it was a public gym, people weren't paying memberships or something like that, then there's nothing you could really do about being public. But because it is a private gym, it could be requested that you're not allowed to film or anything. But because we saw in the evidence where the gym, they have no article signed by the members about this situation in gym regulation. So they don't have a regulation. So we can't really favor the guy, even though she's entitled, and now she didn't defame him. She called him ugly, but that's free speech. So, we're kind of going off American laws, not the Banana Republic. So, it has been decided that Kendall can remove his photos from social media, and that restriction related to this matter will be imposed at the gym. Now, are we allowed to actually control the gym's policies? I think the gym, that's on their own. They're a private company. We can't impose rules on them. That's, if they make rules that people don't like, then people won't buy memberships and they hurt their own business. That's on them. That's called free market. So we're going to have to go with, I would like her to remove the photos just out of, just courtesy. He doesn't want his photo out there out of courtesy. But, being that it's a private business that don't have rules on it, now if they change the rules, then that'd be an issue. But we can make her pay $1,000 for insulting them. Now, I know the Banana Republic in the regular game, they had like rules for an insult, but we're not playing it like the insult thing. So, as much as I don't want to, because she's an entitled brat, given the evidence that we've got, and I know we can make our own decision, we are the law, but given the evidence we got, we can't find her guilty for anything. It'd be nice if she removed the photos, but if it just said, "Oh, remove the photos," maybe we'd pick that. Be like, okay, so let's just make this simple. Just blur him out, remove photos from your thing. Simple as that. Just be nice. I mean, I don't even know if we can actually order that. Because that still seems like a violation of the law. But as a judge, but she's innocent. I mean, as much as I don't like it, there it is. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this week's cases. And there's the end. Let's see what letter we got. The first one, our family is leaving, so we didn't get the cat to pet like in the original story episodes. Okay, I want a divorce. For a while, I took the children and moved to my parents' house. You are no longer the person I used to know. You have changed a lot. You had your eyes out instead of us. I'm so sad. I think they forget. Okay, congratulations, you've reached the end of free play mode. We prepare for JudgeSim. In the sequel to JudgeSim, we plan to release it along with support for a mod where players can write their own cases. That would be interesting. I would really like to write like some insane, complicated cases. And it'd be crazy. But the end screen will have some other options for you. And hope to see you again. Thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Click the next one or check out some of my other content on the channel. You can do it. I believe in you. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.